Welcome to the podcast. Súbele volumen. Conversation with the people who were with me. In the world TV. Carlos tonight. Historias de un reportero. Carlos tonight. Dale que viene lo bueno.
Hey everybody, welcome and bienvenidos to Carlos Tonight. Thank you so much for watching and for listening to this podcast. Before we get things started, I want to invite you to check out my website. That's carlostonight.com. There you can find more information on the podcast, see upcoming guests, and check out past episodes. That's carlostonight.com. This week, I want to introduce you to Ryan Kimball. He's a keto health coach. Let me bring him on. Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Hi, good, Carlos. Thanks for having me.
So first, tell us where we're connecting from.
I'm in Ithaca, New York.
Cool. And how's the weather out there?
Very snowy right now.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
we got about 4 inches on the ground.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So spring is around the corner, and a lot of people are probably thinking about, summertime and health and fitness. And so tell us a little bit about what you do on a daily basis to help people with their journeys.
Sure. Yeah. So I work with clients to help them get into a ketogenic lifestyle and fasting. So a lot of them come with certain goals, like they want to lose weight or handle some physical issue that hasn't been resolving. And I use my tools, ketogenic diet, fasting mainly, to help them accomplish whatever they're trying to accomplish.
Okay. So if someone out there has never heard of keto, how would you describe it?
So it's basically a low-carb approach to improving one's diet in the simplest terms. Now, there's a lot that goes into it, and one actually doesn't even have to be low-carb all the time to be using the ketogenic lifestyle. But if someone is eating in a low-carb manner, they are using ketogenic tools, basically.
Got it. And so when does a person know that they're ready to start this keto diet?
Well, it's really different for everyone, of course. If someone has, tried doing keto before or tried diets before and they haven't worked as well as they wanted them to, or they've run into barriers, or maybe they're trying to do something, reach a certain goal quickly, or whatever it is, when they're mentally ready, when they've made that decision, I can work with them. It's just a matter of the person wanting to actually make that change. If they're not ready for that, of course, they usually don't even, show up to work with me. So, it's basically just a decision.
So as a keto health coach, what type of people do you work with? Young people, old people? I didn't mean to say old people. Like bodybuilders. My mom's going to kill me.
All types, really. I have people who are in their 20s who are doing this because, they're athletic, or maybe they're in college and they're on the team and they want to improve their endurance or how well they're operating physically. And then I have, people who are, parents, and they're just like trying to keep up with their kids. So they want to do something where they can make a lifestyle that works for them. And then I have people who are overweight that are all ages, and they want to handle that. That's obviously a very common one, especially in this modern culture where we tend to have that as an issue. And then I have older people who are coming just because they want to have a better quality of life. And there's a lot of cognitive benefits from doing the ketogenic diet. So a lot of people are interested in that.
And tell us about those benefits, the benefits of keto.
Okay, so obviously the main thing a lot of people have done keto for is to lose weight or have better body composition, right? But it's such a small aspect of what you can actually do with the program. And when I say keto, I'm referring to fasting as well, because they just kind of work together. And for me, that's how I use them, is with the fasting. But the cognitive benefits, so more mental acuity, better memory, sharper, more aware and awake in the mornings and just in general. Energy benefits. So one thing that the keto diet is known for is you no longer have this overwhelming urge to snack or have to have food regularly, because your body actually gets trained and learns how to use your own body fat for fuel. So you don't need to have an extra snack in order to get that fuel. It's right there and it's available. So cognitive, energy, and then also emotional and mental stability. A lot of people have, approached and done the keto diet just because they were trying to deal with depression or anxiety. And the keto diet is so high in fats, it's very nourishing to our brain and nervous system. So you can really get benefits from it. And then there's a lot of people trying to achieve and are under a lot of stress. And, maybe they're just starting a career, or they're trying to build a business and have a family and everything else. And they want something that is sustainable for them. And the keto diet really fills all those bills, so to speak.
And when you talk about fasting, is it like 12 hours or less or more?
It varies for everyone. The way I work with people is I find out what's going to work for them based on, a health history that we do, and me talking to them quite a bit. But yes, to start with, usually a person's eating like 3 meals a day. That's pretty common. And all we do is we just make it 3 meals with no snacks. And then we start moving breakfast usually up towards lunch until we reach a point where the person is fasting or they're not eating for about 15 hours. And at that point, they're in what's called intermittent fasting. So their eating window is, from lunch to dinner. And then from dinner all the way to lunch, 15, 16, 17 hours, they're not eating anything. But when it's done in tandem with the ketogenic diet, you're training your body not to need food at that time either. So you don't get hungry, you actually have more energy. The thing with fasting is it's got so many amazing benefits that you will automatically start to feel better and start to feel more energized. And you'll notice the change in your clothes and the scales, and it's usually very exciting for people. So they start fasting and they're like, oh, how do I do more of this? And how does this work? And you can get into more extended fasts. You may have heard of OMAD, 1 meal a day. So people are doing 24 hours. That's pretty advanced. I wouldn't suggest starting with that. But if you do intermittent fasting, you can then move your lunch towards your dinner and, try to extend it even longer. But obviously pay attention to the body and don't do things that are too stressful. That's counterproductive too.
And Ryan, how fast can someone see the results from fasting?
The fastest result that I've had so far is 12 pounds in the first week. And
wow,
it was pretty incredible. I mean, that's unusual. That's not, most people are, technically you're only going to be able to lose 2 pounds of body fat per week. That's just how the body operates metabolically speaking. However, in the beginning, there's a lot of water weight that is lost as the person goes into ketosis. It's a different way of producing energy, and the body sheds a ton of water weight. So that first week, you have a large dip on the scales, but your body fat percentage will only change slightly because you only lost a couple pounds of fat. So it's pretty spectacular to see still. You're very very invigorated and now, wow, I just lost 10 pounds in 1 week. Now, going forward, it usually evens out and comes down to around 2 or 3 pounds a week.
So how many calories until you get to that keto portion and start burning fat?
Yeah, that's such a great question, actually, because so many people associate the weight loss aspect with caloric deficit. And that's really how weight loss used to be done when you were eating higher carbohydrate or higher protein diets. The great thing about the keto diet is that without lowering your calories, in fact, you might be eating more calories than you normally eat. You can lose weight, because what you're actually doing to lose weight is training your body to burn fat for fuel. So you don't have to have that caloric deficit. Say you need 2,000 calories in a day. Well, you'd be eating about 70% of those calories from fat. And this can vary wildly, depending on the person, how their metabolism works, how healthy they are, these things. 20% from protein and 10% from carbs. So it's a 70-20-10 breakdown. And then as you go forward and your body learns to use your body fat more for fuel, and, unless you're down around 5%, 6% body fat, you have plenty of fat to use. And, if you're not, modeling as a, workout model or whatever, then you're higher than that. So you have plenty of fat to use on your body. and you can lower your fat intake, which does lower your calories, but you have all that fat there in your body, so you're not losing any calories, technically speaking.
Are there certain foods that you have to avoid when you're in keto?
Yes. Of course, any high calorie or high carbohydrate foods will tend to throw you out of ketosis. So breads, grains, potatoes, obviously anything with sugar in it. But that said, after you become keto adapted or fat adapted, in other words, your body is really able to use fat for fuel, you can then start to introduce some of these foods in small quantities. Obviously, you can't eat a whole bunch, and still remain in ketosis and still even lose weight. I have people who are doing 50 grams of carbohydrates a day, and they're still, so they're eating things like maybe a piece of bread here and there or a sweet or whatever, and they're still losing weight. They're still in ketosis. And a lot of that has to do with how much you exercise too. Obviously, if you exert more, there's more wiggle room for having carb calories, so to speak.
So can I eat avocados?
Absolutely. Yeah. Anything high in fat, and avocados are amazing, obviously. So yes, guac, you gotta have your guac,
Perfect.
right?
Perfect. Yes. How would you motivate someone who is doing keto but they're struggling and they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, it's all about finding out what's going on with that person. And, I try to encompass, it's a very holistic approach that I have. So I'm not just concentrating on their diet. I'm also looking at, okay, what's going on in that person's life? That's where the coach aspect is really nice. You're not just coming in to see someone who's going to just tell you, eat this and eat that. Actually, someone who's going to be involved in your life and interested in what's going on with you. So some people have a lot of stress going on in their life. They're running a business, or they're running after 5 kids, or whatever else might be causing them stress. And that stress has to be addressed and handled. So we might go over life solutions or how to sort out dealing with that stress, making better plans or getting help or more support for what you're doing, and lowering the stress level. Because on the endocrine level, so your hormone level, when you have stress, one hormone goes up, which is called cortisol. It's kind of your stress, your fight or flight response hormone. And when that goes up, it'll just stop you dead as far as weight loss goes and a lot of other health benefits. So we've got to get that cortisol back down, which means dealing with stress in life, or stress from whatever's going on. And when we do that, then we often find out, okay, well, this is the barrier. You don't have a solution for it. They're motivated again. They're back in the game. And shortly we have some really amazing gains going on.
So besides the body weight, the loss of body fat, you boost your energy, and then talk about the body pain that goes away.
Yes. So ketogenic and fasting lifestyles are anti-inflammatory, and the fasting aspect of the ketogenic diet increases the hormone that actually builds up your body. It's a growth hormone. And it increases it by up to like 1,300% for many people. For men, it's around 1,300. For women, it's around 1,000. And with these increases, less inflammation, increased hormones towards body repair, create a situation where people just have pain go away. I had one person I was working with. We were really working on weight loss. It was the main goal. There was no attention on anything else. And all of a sudden she says, yeah, my arthritis is like practically gone. There was no pain anymore. And of course that led to being able to be more active, which led to more weight loss, which is the main goal. But just amazing, something as counterproductive to a person's health and happiness as arthritic conditions is totally eliminated with simple changes in dietary foods and when and how often the person's eating.
They say the journey to losing weight always starts in the kitchen. What role does exercise play in keto?
Well, a very key role, but you can't out exercise a bad diet, right? So you do have to have that foundation of, well, I'm eating foods that work for me, that allow me to lose weight. And you don't have to just do a ketogenic diet in order to lose weight, of course. You could do some sort of form of it. Some people aren't able to give up the carbs. So something that's healthy, that allows them to be in a position where they can lose weight, and add exercise to that, and you have a pretty safe bet that you're going to get better body composition. may not lose weight immediately, but you will start putting on muscle, which will lead to weight loss. So exercise is very key. But in the beginning, I always recommend if a person is not used to exercise or it's not their normal way of living, they start slowly. Because if you overstress it, again, that cortisol hormone goes up. It's very counterproductive. So we start slowly and we build up. But if they're already running marathons, then fine. We go from that level, but most people aren't. So,
Do you get people who are like, can't imagine not eating between like 8 or 12 hours in a day?
yes. I mean, I was that way to start with. I used to I would eat so much food. It was ridiculous. But your body changes. And, the interesting thing is when the body physiologically changes, your hormones change. Basically, the ketogenic diet is a hormone reset for the body. And when that occurs, your mental relationship to food and what you want and don't want completely changes. I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't experienced it and seen it now in so many people I work with. But it's a whole different game. Your relationship, how you feel about food and when you want to eat changes. In fact, I've had some people, I haven't even started really working on fasting yet. And they're like, yeah, I'm kind of down to 2 meals a day. I'm just not hungry for that much food anymore, because the insulin's lower, the body's better able to absorb nutrients, so you don't need as much food to get the nutrients you need to live and be healthy.
And then you mentioned in the beginning that keto is pretty much okay for everyone of all ages. Do you see, and I think you pretty much answered this, but do you see more like people who are super busy in their life and has no time for, meal prepping or maybe no time for gym as much?
I do. I mean, we live in a pretty busy society, fast-paced, a lot of things going on, and a lot of stressors. So when that's the case, you just have to tailor things to what's going on in your life. And if someone's super busy and they're only able to start in a very low level, start very slowly, that's fine. You'll still see results. And sometimes because it's such a drastic change from the way they have been treating their body, they're pretty big results, even though they made only a small change.
And do you recommend folks seeing their doctor before they start any diet or exercise?
Of course. If someone's seeing and working with a doctor and they have concerns that they've already been addressing, then they should definitely be consulting with their healthcare professional of choice before they start. I have a lot of people who've already actually talked to their healthcare professional and been referred to me or just referred to someone who works and specializes in ketogenic fasting lifestyle. It's becoming very mainstream now, which is pretty awesome. It's a whole new level of health and wellness opportunity for people.
Yeah, there are a lot of books out there and a lot of information on the internet.
Yeah.
If somebody's watching this or listening to this and they want to connect with you, how do they do that?
You can go to my website. It's longevityfitnessandhealth.com. And on there, you can book a free consult with me or check out what I'm all about. Or you can just email me, info@longevityfitnessandhealth.com.
Great. And I'll have all that information in the show notes.
Okay.
By the way, how did you get started with all this?
I actually was a personal counselor for many, many years working with people. And I would work with them on their lives and what they need to improve and how they handle this and that. And I found that a lot of people were running into health issues that were stopping them from taking advantage of things that I was trying to help them with. So I had this interest in that. And then I moved back to my hometown area, upstate New York, and found out that there was a health clinic of a friend of mine up here, and I started to learn. I was like, this dovetails. This is exactly what I need to have a full circle of service for someone. So I started training, taking courses, getting certified, and now I have kind of a whole package that I work with people on. And it's pretty exciting for me. I feel like I can help people a lot.
That's fantastic. And do people have to be in your city to get the help or no?
No, of course not. With recent changes in how we live our lives, I'm actually mostly Zoom-based. So I see about 90% of my clients over Zoom and then just a few in person here at the clinic.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Ryan Kimball, thanks so much for your time. I do appreciate it. Continued success and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. This was fun.
Carlos Tonight, Carlos Tonight, historias de un reportero. Carlos Tonight, Carlos Tonight, dale que viene lo bueno.
And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for watching and listening to this episode. It was written and produced by yours truly, Carlos Correa. My theme is by Sken Galis. Check out my website, carlostonight.com, for the very latest on the podcast, see upcoming guests, and check out past episodes. That's carlostonight.com.
Dale que viene